What would you do if the young man you welcomed into your home as family slowly began taking control of everything you had built? At first, Daniel looked like a polite stranger who desperately needed a second chance. Michael and Sarah opened their door to him when he had nowhere else to go, never imagining that their kindness would become the biggest mistake of their lives. Within weeks, Daniel knew their routines, their secrets, their weaknesses, and one night, Sarah discovered something hidden inside his suitcase that made her blood run cold. But that was only the beginning. Because Daniel had not come to their house by accident. He had come with a plan. And the truth behind that plan would force a married couple to question everything they thought they knew about each other. Before we uncover the secret, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because if you enjoy emotional stories filled with betrayal, suspense, unexpected twists, and second chances, you won't want to miss what happens next. Michael Carter had always believed that a person's home should be a place where kindness mattered more than suspicion. He was 42, hardworking, practical, and proud of the quiet life he had built with his wife, Sarah. Their house stood on a peaceful street outside Manchester, a comfortable two-story home with a small garden, an old wooden fence, and a kitchen where Sarah spent most evenings preparing dinner while Michael talked about his day. They had been married for 14 years. Their marriage was not perfect, but it was strong enough to survive disagreements, financial pressure, and the ordinary disappointments of life. What they valued most was trust. That was why, when Daniel arrived at their door on a rainy Thursday evening, Michael did not hesitate to help him. Daniel was 26 and had recently lost his job. At least, that was the story he told them. He explained that he had been working at a warehouse, that the company had suddenly reduced its staff, and that he had been staying with a friend who could no longer accommodate him. He had only one small suitcase, a worn backpack, and the tired expression of someone who had spent too many nights wondering where his next meal would come from. Sarah immediately felt sorry for him. "We can give you the spare room for a few days," she said. Michael looked at her. "A few days?" Sarah smiled. "He's clearly struggling." Daniel lowered his eyes. "I promise I won't be any trouble." Those words would later haunt them. The first week passed peacefully. Daniel woke early, washed his dishes, kept the spare room tidy, and thanked Sarah whenever she prepared food. He was polite with Michael and never entered their bedroom or private office. If anything, he seemed almost too careful. Then he began helping around the house. He repaired a loose cabinet hinge. He fixed a broken garden light. He carried heavy boxes from the garage. When Michael came home exhausted one evening, Daniel had already cleaned the garden and taken the rubbish bins out. "You didn't have to do that," Michael said. "I know," Daniel replied. "I wanted to." Michael smiled. Sarah smiled too. Neither of them noticed that Daniel had started learning the rhythm of their lives. He knew what time Michael left for work. He knew when Sarah went shopping. He knew which bills arrived at the beginning of the month. He knew where Michael kept spare keys. He knew which drawer contained important documents. Most importantly, he knew how much they trusted him. The arrangement that was supposed to last several days became several weeks. Whenever Michael mentioned finding him another place, Daniel had another problem. The landlord wanted a deposit. His paycheck had been delayed. His old employer had not paid him. His phone had broken. His bank account had been frozen. Each explanation sounded believable on its own. Together, they formed a pattern. Sarah was the one who kept defending him. "He doesn't have anyone else." Michael sighed. "I know. Then give him some time." "I am giving him time." "You don't sound like it." Michael looked toward the hallway. "I just think he needs to start standing on his own." Daniel heard the conversation from the staircase. That night, he sent a message to someone whose name was saved in his phone as simply M. "He's starting to suspect me." A reply appeared minutes later. "Then move faster." Daniel stared at the message. For the first time, his polite expression disappeared. The next morning, he was charming again. Sarah never suspected a thing. One Saturday afternoon, Michael went into town. Sarah was preparing tea when Daniel approached her. "Can I ask you something?" "Of course." "Do you ever feel like Michael doesn't appreciate you?" Sarah frowned. "What do you mean?" Daniel shrugged. "I'm not trying to interfere. It's just something I've noticed." Sarah immediately became uncomfortable. Daniel, Michael and I have been together a long time. I know. Then you should know that whatever problems we have are between us. Daniel nodded. You're right. He walked away, but the seed had been planted. That evening, Michael noticed Sarah was unusually quiet. What happened? Nothing. Sarah. She hesitated. Daniel said something strange today. Michael's expression changed. What? She told him. Michael stared toward the hallway. Maybe he's trying to make trouble. Sarah shook her head. I don't think so. You just told me he questioned our marriage. I know. Michael remained silent. For the first time, both of them began wondering whether their guest was as innocent as he appeared. But Daniel had already anticipated that. The following week, he changed his behavior. He became distant. He stopped offering help. He ate separately. He spent hours outside. Sarah eventually asked what was wrong. Nothing. You seem upset. Daniel sighed. I just feel like I'm becoming a burden. Sarah felt guilty. You're not. Michael doesn't want me here. That's not true. He does. Sarah shook her head. You've misunderstood him. Daniel looked at her sadly. Maybe I should leave. The words worked exactly as he expected. Sarah immediately stopped him. You don't have to leave tonight. Daniel looked down. Thank you. From that moment, Sarah began feeling responsible for him. That was exactly what Daniel wanted. Weeks passed. Then something disappeared. Sarah noticed that an envelope containing money had vanished from her desk. She searched everywhere. Michael helped. They found nothing. Daniel was visibly concerned. I hope you don't think I took it. Michael looked at him. I didn't say that. You were looking at me. I'm looking at everyone. Daniel became offended. Sarah immediately intervened. Michael, I'm just saying. Daniel went upstairs. Sarah followed him. Please don't take it personally. Daniel's voice became quiet. I understand. But inside, he was smiling. The missing money was never about the money. It was about creating suspicion. And suspicion was beginning to grow. A few days later, Michael discovered that someone had accessed his private computer. He checked the security log. There had been a login while he was at work. He confronted Sarah. Did you use my computer? No. Are you sure? Yes. Michael looked toward the staircase. Daniel appeared behind them. What happened? Michael closed the laptop. Nothing. Daniel smiled. Okay. That night, Daniel opened his suitcase. Beneath a layer of clothes was a folder. Inside were photographs. Old photographs. One showed Michael as a teenager. Another showed Sarah before she met Michael. There were documents, addresses, names, dates, and one photograph that made Daniel stop breathing for several seconds. It showed his mother, standing beside Michael's father. Daniel stared at it. Then he whispered, Now you understand. The next morning, Daniel told Sarah that he had found something in the attic. It was an old photograph. Sarah recognized the people immediately. That's Michael's father. Daniel nodded. And this woman? Sarah's face changed. I don't know. Daniel looked at her. Are you sure? Yes. Daniel folded the photograph. Neither does Michael. That was the first time Sarah realized Daniel had not accidentally discovered the past. He had been searching for it. She waited until Michael came home. We need to talk. Michael noticed the photograph. Where did you get that? Daniel found it. Michael took it from her. His face went pale. For years, he had believed his father had left the family because he had been selfish. But the photograph suggested something different. The woman beside him was Daniel's mother. Michael looked at Daniel. Who are you? Daniel remained silent. Then he said, My mother knew your father. Michael's voice hardened. How? Daniel looked directly at him. Because they were married before he met your mother. Silence filled the room. Sarah stared at Daniel. Michael shook his head. That's impossible. Daniel opened the folder. Your father had another family. Michael felt as though the flow had disappeared. But Daniel wasn't finished. He abandoned my mother. He left her with nothing. Michael's anger turned into confusion. What does this have to do with me? Daniel answered quietly. Everything. Michael demanded to know why Daniel had entered their home. Daniel finally confessed that he had discovered the connection months earlier. He had blamed Michael for his family's suffering, even though Michael had been a child when it happened. He had planned to enter the household, gain their trust, discover their financial situation, and take enough from them to make them feel the same helplessness his mother had felt. But there was another twist. The missing money had been Daniel's doing. The computer access had been Daniel's doing. The strange messages had been Daniel's doing. He had been manipulating them from the beginning. Sarah felt betrayed. Michael was furious. But then Daniel revealed the final document. It was a letter from Michael's father. The letter had never been sent. In it, Michael's father explained that he had not abandoned Daniel's mother willingly. He had been threatened. Someone had forced him to leave. And that person had been Daniel's own uncle. Daniel stared at the letter. His entire revenge story collapsed. His mother had spent decades believing she had been abandoned. But the truth was far more complicated. Daniel had blamed the wrong family. He had destroyed the trust of two innocent people because of a lie that had been passed down through generations. Michael could have called the police. Instead, he asked one question. Why didn't you just ask me? Daniel couldn't answer. Sarah began crying. You could have told us. Daniel looked at the floor. I thought you would hate me. Michael shook his head. I don't hate you. Then why? Because you chose revenge before you knew the truth. Daniel finally broke down. The young man who had entered their home pretending to be helpless was suddenly no longer dangerous. He was simply lost. Michael helped him contact the authorities and recover the stolen money. Daniel agreed to cooperate fully. But there was one final surprise. The old letter contained information about a bank account that Michael's father had created decades earlier for Daniel's mother. The money had never been claimed. It was enough to change Daniel's life. Michael could have kept the information secret. Instead, he gave it to Daniel. You deserve the truth, he said. Daniel stared at him. After everything I did, because of everything you did. Sarah added quietly, maybe this is your chance to stop carrying someone else's anger. Daniel eventually left the house. This time, he left voluntarily. Months later, Michael received a letter. Daniel had found work. He had rented a small apartment. He had apologized to Sarah. He had also begun repairing relationships he had damaged during his obsession with revenge. At the bottom of the letter, he wrote one sentence. I entered your house intending to take something from you. Instead, you gave me the one thing I had never had, the truth. Michael folded the letter and placed it in a drawer. Sarah looked at him. Do you think he'll be okay? Michael smiled faintly. I think he's finally got a chance. She leaned against him. Their home was quiet again. But neither of them ever forgot the lesson. Sometimes the most dangerous person in your house isn't the person who openly threatens you. It's the person who earns your trust while secretly studying your weaknesses. And sometimes the person who hurts you most is not truly your enemy at all. Sometimes they're simply carrying a story they were told to believe. Years later, Daniel returned to the house. He stood outside the same wooden fence. Michael opened the door. For a moment, neither man spoke. Then Daniel smiled. I came to say thank you. Michael stepped aside. You can come in. Daniel hesitated. Are you sure? Michael nodded. This time, come in as a friend. Daniel entered. Sarah was waiting in the kitchen. They talked for hours. No secrets. No manipulation. No hidden plans. Just three people who had survived a terrible misunderstanding and discovered that forgiveness did not mean forgetting. It meant refusing to let the past control the future. And that was how the young man who once entered their home intending to take advantage of their kindness eventually learned the greatest lesson of his life. A door opened by kindness should never be mistaken for weakness. Because trust may take years to build, but it can disappear in a single night. And sometimes, the greatest twist of all is discovering that the people you thought you came to defeat were the very people who were capable of saving you.